Alright guys, so we're going to be talking about supply drops within Modern Warfare and what they would have looked like. We're going to be looking at leaked images of the supply drops, the crates themselves, the keys that you would use to unlock the supply drops, talking about what the system was supposed to be for this game. And then also, just to put it out there, what if Activision went back on their word like they've done before? So it's not like they haven't done it before, but this would be an unprecedented event where they actually bring back supply drops despite making this huge public announcement that they're no longer going to be doing supply drops or any microtransactions of any kind. I want to be optimistic, however, and Activision made such a public announcement that there really is no going back on their word. But again, this is Activision we're talking about. They've done it before and it would be insane, but it could happen again. But first, let's look at supply drops here. If you've been watching my videos, if you've been watching any of the leaked updates for Gaming Revolution or other people that have been talking to Infinity Ward sources, there have been updates of supply drops being implemented into the game in a variety of different ways, and they've pretty much been planned on being in the game for a while. And I don't know the exact development cycle of really when exactly they decided to remove it. Obviously, it was fairly recently. I mean, supply drops were in the game as of a couple of months ago, and then obviously they made the huge decision to get rid of it. And however that happened beforehand, who knows, but there were plans to have it within the game. I mean, supply drops were sort of teased back when kill streaks were announced. I'm pretty sure a bunch of these reveal images, I don't know if it was this image, but you see in the background a bunch of these different crates and a bunch of the other promotional images for Modern Warfare, especially Modern Warfare multiplayer. When they were hyping up Modern Warfare multiplayer, these sort of supply drop crates, these reserve crates, were seen in the background of a bunch of these images. Now let me show you guys the Gaming Revolution. This is where it's coming from. This is what the crate actually was supposed to look like. Cancelled Modern Warfare supply drop and keys. So that's the crate and the same crates that we're seeing from those other promotional images back from the multiplayer reveal. And then the key that you would use, you would collect the different keys within the game and you would use them to open up the supply drops. You guys sort of know how that works from past Call of Duties. Supply drops used the same model as the care packages, and they were different colors for them: normal, rare, and legendary. So same model as in the same visual model, so they looked fairly similar for the most part, despite having that differentiation between normal, rare, and legendary. Here are the common and rare supply drops. Here's just something that you see here. Blue one is the rare supply drop. I'll show you them side by side. You obviously have the normal supply drop and then the rare one, and I'm guessing this is the legendary one. So pretty self-explanatory here. Those are the distinctions of the different supply drops, and that's what we would have had within the game. And back and forth between the development cycle and during that whole time, the past couple months, especially over the summer, we were getting the leaks about the supply drop system being super fair and being cosmetic only. Then we were getting leaks about weapons being in there now and being worse than Black Ops 4. I mean, I think if you guys have been watching, you remember all of this different stuff, and we were expecting the worst. We were saying that Modern Warfare was going to be a great game, but the only thing that could stop it were the supply drops and microtransaction system, and now we don't have any of that stuff. It seems like we still sort of have some problems with the game despite not having microtransactions, which is just insane, but that's another story, that's another topic. Now, with this, Activision made it clear that we're not going to be having supply drops or microtransactions of any kind within this game, and it seems like, for the rest of Call of Duty's life cycle, for, several games into the future. But do they go back on their word? I don't know. I mean, they've done it again with Black Ops 4. You guys know it's a prime example. They said up front, Treyarch and Activision, that, these supply drops will be cosmetic only. That they said that clearly, and then they started adding weapons, and then they started adding weapons that were not only just within supply drops, but were locked behind supply drops, so you could only get them from buying supply drops, which was just a whole nother level, something we've never really seen before within Call of Duty. And they just completely went back on their word, no regard for what they said, no regard for the community, and that was that. So that's Activision for you. And obviously it seems like they're changing, but for me and for a bunch of people, it still seems too good to be true. It just seems so unlikely that Activision would miss out on the multi-million dollars they would be making. I mean, they made, what was it, over $1 billion in microtransactions in 2018, I'm pretty sure it was, which is just absolutely absurd. And if I'm Activision and I want to increase, the revenue for the company, increase my profits, like that is something I'm looking at and I'm thinking, wow, we need to continue to do that because I'm making a lot of money from that, even more than just selling the base game. So that's just the way it is. And for them to miss out on all of that revenue, they probably feel some sort of way. They probably don't need all of that revenue, but they're missing out on it now. I guess the flip side is that Modern Warfare has had one of the most successful launches in several years now. There have been so many players actually, actively playing the game, so many players that bought the game. I think physical sales are up like 40% or something. So the game is doing really well right now, and maybe that's because of the good publicity of getting rid of microtransactions that turned into more people wanting to buy the game. So I guess that works out for them as well. But I'm just still so worried that later on, 4, 5, 6 months into the cycle of this game, maybe something bad happens. Maybe we all start to hate Modern Warfare. They can just decide to add supply drops right back into the game. I mean, they have the code. They were planning on doing it. It wouldn't be too hard for them to do it. And they could start off just saying, oh, we're going to add supply drops in, but it's only going to be cosmetic only. It's only going to be this. It's only going to be that. And then once we give them a little leverage, it's like the slippery slope. We just give them a little power to bring supply drops into the game, and then they ease their way into, their bad practices of Black Ops 4. They ease a couple weapons in, they ease more stuff in, and then we just have the same stuff we have all over again. So just keep in mind, that's probably not going to happen. That's the absolute worst case scenario, but I just want to put that out there because I don't think we should be completely just 100% faithful in Activision that they're going to do good for the community, because they haven't done good for such a long. I don't think they've ever really done too much good for us, especially in the past couple of years. So for them to do, what they're doing now with no microtransactions in Modern Warfare, that's a good start, but they need to, fulfill on that. They need to continue their word and make sure they don't add it back in or, go back on their word and do all this crazy stuff. So again, probably not going to happen, but just saying that could happen. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think about supply drops. Potential. Well, I guess they're not. I was gonna say. What do you guys think about supply drops in the game? They're not in the game. But would you have still played it if they were in the game? Would you have still been enjoying Modern Warfare if supply drops were still in the game? I probably would still enjoy the game. I'm not gonna lie. If supply drops were cosmetic only, I don't really think that's that big of a deal, honestly. I'm glad there's just nothing. That's the best case. We really got the best case scenario. But if it was cosmetic only, not that big of a deal. If we had weapons in there, that would really suck. I'm glad we don't have any of that. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.